Good evening, ladies, gentlemen. I'm standing here tonight as a representative of all the soldiers that participated in the Entebbe raid. I was born in Tel Aviv, 1943, joined Israel Air Force in 1961, and received my navigator wings in 1963 from our late President Asa Weizmann, who was at the time the Air Force commander. 1976, I was a bit younger, with a wonderful wife who is sitting next here, right here, and two lovely children. My third child was born later, so today I am a father of 3 children, a grandfather of 5 grandchildren. The eldest is serving in the Air Force, of course, and his name is Jonathan. In 1976, I wore 3 hats. I was a law student, a navigator in the Air Force as a reserve forces, and an employee of El Al, also as a navigator. On the afternoon of Thursday, June the 1st, I received a cryptic phone call telling me to attend a military briefing the next day at 2 p.m. I left home Friday afternoon, driving very carefully to my base. I knew what this briefing must be about. Knowing our Prime Minister, the late Yitzhak Rabin, I knew there was only one option. We would flying to Entebbe. One thought ran through my mind again and again. I wanted to be the lead navigator for the mission. Why? Because in the Air Force, we were taught to take responsibility. The opportunity to lead this mission would be a reward for thousands of hours of training every week, twice a week, 3 times a week, for 52 weeks a year, along the years. With all that preparation, I knew that I was ready, mentally and professionally, to lead the mission. I entered the briefing room and went directly to the board where the mission assignments were posted. I saw that my name was a part of the leading team, and only then I asked to see the maps. I was thrilled, tensed, and satisfied all at the same time, knowing that my life and my service had all been leading up to this moment. We took off from Sharm el-Sheikh the next day, buckling in for a dangerous 7-hour flight. We'd be staying low, flying through the night over the dark terrain of Africa. Our maps had not been updated for years. There was no GPS, no anything like that. The only navigation facilities I had were a compass and radar. I needed to harness every ounce of focus and skill to ensure that we did not deviate from the planned route and from our scheduled timing. We landed in Entebbe at 11 o'clock p.m., the exact time we planned to land there. The shooting began 5 minutes later. My team remained in the plane, the engines running, ready to take off as soon as everyone was back on board. As we waited, we heard over our radio that Yoni Netanyahu, who led the attack inside the airport terminal, was wounded. It was a sad moment, a shocking moment. I still think of Yoni today and remember his bravery, his heroism, and his moral courage. Once we had Yoni and his men and more than 100 freed hostages on board, we took off, landed at Nairobi, and took off once again, heading home to Israel. I was raised in a religious home, religious family. My father was a rabbi. And so in that moment, I thought of a line from the Passover Haggadah, which says, And the Lord brought us forth out of Egypt, not by the hand of an angel, and not by the hand of a seraph, and not by the hand of a messenger, but the Holy One in this glorious person, etc. That night, God stepped down from his throne and carried us in his hand to Entebbe, in Entebbe, and back home. And only then, the mission a success, the hostages safe, did he return to heaven with Yoni in his arms and a smile on his face. I called my wife when we landed. She heard my voice. She couldn't utter a word. She burst into tears and hung up on me. I hope that Israel will never need to perform such an operation again. But if we ever do, I know that we'll do it with the same efficiency, with the same belief, and hopefully with the same outcome. Thank you all. Thank you for listening to my words tonight. And thank you for this great honor. And thank you, most of all, for supporting Israel. Thanks.